I want to talk to you guys about what is potentially one of the dumbest debates I've ever watched. This is a Destiny debate. He's debating Crucible, Andrew from the Crucible. He is also there with Not So Erudite and one other woman who I must say I do not have the highest opinion of intellectually. She behaves in a way that is just completely without regard for the conversation at hand, is only pushed forward by ad hominem attacks, and tries to tag in her father to debate for her. I don't know the familial relationship. There's a bunch of like lore, and you can hear it from how the conversation goes about things her and her possible father did in the debate or in previous debates, and it's very, very weird. I've never talked to this person. I don't know if I would. I'll talk to basically anyone if she asks, then I guess I probably would. But this one's difficult. This one's hard, and I warned you, this is not a particularly intelligent debate. If you came here today thinking that you were going to hear intelligent points and have your mind enriched, you are wrong. This is not the stream for enriching your mind. This is the stream and the video for boiling your mind like an egg. Crack, boil, sizzle. That's your brain on this debate. I'm just letting you know that before we go in here, okay? You ready for the brain worms? Okay, good luck. We're not gonna watch the full thing. We can't. It's too bad. We'll watch as much as we can.
Fight of a 20-year-old girl married to a extremely masculine woman who shoots guns and lifts weights and is a fake traditional guy. Then you have guys like Destiny, the liberal cuck who is fine with his woman f***ing other men. That's
yeah, but your dad, so.
You let your wife f*** other men. Are you an example of somebody who should be trusted, who women should trust?
I mean, you let your dad women, so.
You will be forever banned from my channel. I will never have you on again. I will never.
Somebody's saying, oh no, it's the Thorpes. It is, I believe it is, that is their name. I don't know who they are though. I don't know who these two people are. I'm not familiar with them. Are you guys familiar with Grace Thorpe? You guys have any good opinions of Grace Thorpe? Don't go down the Grace Thorpe rabbit hole. Step back? What do you mean? You better not know them, Dylan. They fuck each... What? What? Okay, no. It's not showing on screen right now because it's not site chatter telling me. Destiny has debated Grace and her dad, Brian. They're really wacky. Okay. Now I feel uncomfortable, but let's go into it.
Platform you.
Does everyone think that women should be able to vote?
No. You think that flirting outside your marriage?
Even when they finally get to like actual topics. Do you think women should vote? No. It's just like, okay. So we're still not talking about serious topics. Okay.
You're not putting it up until
Wait. You established the top best-selling book of all time, apart from the Bible, is 50 Shades of Grey, right? Okay, so like women, like we like to say like, yeah, I'd like to be treated equally. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm the same as a man. I want equal respect. But in reality, we want to be degraded, don't we?
You're so stupid and dumb and
you know what
idiot.
natural law
You're a
is.
dumb.
Know what natural
You're
law is.
too stupid. I don't have to answer you.
You gotta go 5 levels further.
I'm not letting you get away with saying that laws are not based on a set of
You need to
ethics
be
that
in the
comes from
kitchen
natural
cooking
law.
right now.
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of make something clear from the outset because people might get the wrong idea that this is a 2v2 debate because Destiny and Erudite.
Dylan, she fucks her dad. 100 bits. Please don't talk to her. She doesn't act. I heard this during the debate too. She doesn't actually fuck her dad, right? She doesn't actually. It's like a meme, right? Or it's like a reference to something. She doesn't actually. He wouldn't actually like. No. No, she does. Okay. Is there any evidence for this? Are you guys just like, because I heard this during the debate as well. Also, I couldn't imagine Like, number one, what would motivate somebody to want to have sex with their father, right? I don't know what that would be. But if you did get caught doing that, I couldn't imagine ever showing your face on the internet again, man. What she does with her uncle? With her uncle? I thought it was her dad. Is it a whole family affair?
I don't want to lick panties on YouTube. It's humiliating.
Lick panties on YouTube.
Why?
Because that's also views.
What? Thanks for the 100 bits.
Because you're a dirty bitch that wants to deny her sexuality like Coom Dumb Courtney.
I don't want to get views for embarrassing myself.
But you're a little fucking cock tease, and all cock teases deserve is first to get a little humiliated. It will be good for you.
But okay, I mean that seems fair, yeah.
Is this just like all fetish? Is this why would anyone do this in public? Look, if they were saying this in like private or whatever, this was wait, this is her wait, I'm sorry. Somebody said this was our uncle? This isn't her uncle. Is this her uncle? Is this her actual uncle? When you said this was her uncle, you were joking. His name's Hormaxer? No, this isn't actually his uncle. You got no. I don't. This is some
good.
But how am I supposed to not be a cock tease? I can't even go online. I'm a cock tease.
Shut your mouth. Get on your fucking knees and lick those panties.
How am I supposed to be online and not be a cock tease?
Get on your fucking knees and be a good slut like you are.
I can't do that. I can.
Does she get up actually?
I'm kneeling. Okay.
What the I don't want to watch this. It's just weird, like porn. What is this stuff, man? I don't even. Can I watch like the original port for this, by the way? Like, is there like an original port with Playing with Fire? I think it'd probably be better because it'd be like full screen. No, there isn't a full port with this. Wait, is there a live? Yeah, here it is. Oh.
What's up, guys?
What's the topic, Alex? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure.
Why has women's happiness declined so much in recent years, and what's the solution?
Okay, we're just gonna stick to the debate topics, guys. The debate topic is why has women's happiness declined in recent years? Remember, that's the debate topic, okay? The debate topic is why has women's happiness decreased in recent years?
And just to quickly, because some people are saying, well, men's happiness has declined as well. Yes, but there's been a kind of for a while, men were less happy on women than average, and you've seen that female happiness decline more rapidly than male happiness, and now to the point women on average are less happy than men. So the question is really, why is women's happiness declining more significantly than men's happiness?
Well, it's a combination problem. So I would say that a big indicator is social issues. The biggest social issues being a lack of family and a lack of pregnancy and a lack of children. I think that children is a pinnacle part of women's happiness. We see that the birth rate is on a massive decline and has been on a massive decline for the entirety of my lifetime. And before that, it's actually been on the decline since about 1800, but it's not really dipped below replacement levels. So I would say that it's a lack of family element and the social dynamic that comes with the family element. That is one of the primary causes for the increase in mental illness in women specifically, though.
Mental illness? I thought it was unhappiness. It's mental illness? If you don't get pregnant, you become mentally ill?
I think there's more factors than that. I would point to that first as being a good indicator.
All right, cool.
I can imagine this in the board. I can imagine Andrew in the boardroom. The unpregnant woman, unpregnant office worker. Don't raise your voice at me. Okay, she's up. The lack of birth craziness is setting in. Okay, somebody needs to lay her off. What is that? I think he might have just meant happiness, not mental illness.
Cool. Let's move on to Kyla.
Yeah, it sounds like in general, it looks like it's not just women's happiness that's decreasing. It looks like people's happiness across the board and like particularly wealthy countries is decreasing. And so like the factors that are contributing to both of these things is probably super complex. Probably most of the factors are non-gendered. And depending on the study that you're looking at, there's going to be different takes on whether they're like what happiness is measured, and like women are experiencing higher levels of like mental health than men are, but they're also experiencing like greater levels of like life satisfaction. So it's a really, really complicated picture. I don't think it's as simple as like women are just less happy right now than ever before.
Let me just quickly, I do agree there's multiple research on this. Just for the audience, let me pull up like a little chart that I think can kind of give some sense to this. So this is talking about life satisfaction in the United States. According to a poll, and you can see that it's gone down for both genders, right? But something interesting happened at, I guess, in like the early 90s. Women's happiness dropped off lower than men's, and now they're both rebounding a little bit. Although if we go to 2023, it's actually been going down again. But basically, for the last 20 years or so, women have been, on average, according to a lot of polls, less happy than men. But yeah, I mean, you could also disagree with the premise, for example. It's also an option too. All right, let's go to Destiny.
Yeah, I feel like happiness is an issue that we're all kind of dealing with right now. I think the internet has dramatically changed the way we engage with the world. I think that making it like ultra gendered, I think misses kind of what's actually happening. And I don't know if it's like.
See, if somebody asked me, I would think like social isolation, people being like in their homes as social recluses. I would think would be something that is something that I would think was like motivating and unhappiness. These are the things I would come to. I'd probably agree with Kayla. I would imagine most of these things are probably non-gendered.
Like an empirical fact that people that have families are happier because they had families and they wouldn't have been happier otherwise. That idea seems to be pushed a lot by kind of trad people that like, oh, if we all just went back to some lifestyle that we're never going back to, it would suddenly fix like all of society's ills. And I don't think that would be true for almost anything, especially any particular person's happiness.
Cool. Grace, you're up.
Okay, everybody. We've heard Andrew's, Not So Erudites, and Destiny's takes, okay? They all had points. Some of them we agree with, some of them we disagree with. Now here comes the real intellectual powerhouse. The daddy diddler, Grace Thorpe. Let's hear it.
If you want to see why women are unhappy, you have to admit to the fact that women are contingent on men. And if you, for example, look at the men on this panel, this is what we as women are afforded as partners. You have Andrew sitting in an office building of some sort. I don't know if that's his green screen, terrified of a 20-year-old girl married to a extremely masculine woman who shoots guns and lifts weights and is a fake traditional guy.
Fake.
Then you have guys like Destiny, the liberal cuck who is fine with his woman fucking other men. If this is the pinnacle of partners that are available to women these days, and women are contingent on men for support and guidance, I don't see why we wouldn't be unhappy. You also have female role models like Kyla, who has a pet for a husband and is extremely masculine and aggressive.
Yeah, but you fuck your dad, so.
This debate is
You're a Christian.
Now, I'm just gonna warn you guys, right? There wasn't any point to what she said. She just used this as an opportunity to attack everybody else in the room. Like there's no scientist somewhere saying, "Oh God, I was doing studying on depression in women, and I found out that there's just too much high concentration of the cuck DNA," and like there's nothing that bears that out. It's just pure. Women suck because I hate everyone in this panel. That's it. That's it. That's all she's going to say for the next 25 minutes. And I need you guys to just know that. This is the whole panel now for the next 20 to 25 minutes. Nothing is going to change. If you were like, oh man, that was kind of funny, I hope you really thought that shit was funny, because that's all it's going to be for the next 20 minutes. Dylan, why do you hate Destiny so much? Because I'm so jealous of Destiny's success. I hate him. Every night, I punch my pillow to counter out my frustration that the liberal soy boy Destiny gets more viewership than me. What do you mean? I don't hate Destiny. What do you mean? I don't know. I don't think I've ever hated Destiny. The most I could say about Destiny is that I don't really talk to him much anymore. That's literally it.
You're a Christian. That's slander. That's slander. You said yourself.
Just say it.
You said yourself to me in DMs that you didn't believe any of that.
Yeah, but
so
if you're going to make the debate
would
about
just
ad homs, if you're going to make the debate about ad homs and you're going to derail the whole thing so we can't even have a conversation, then just leave. You're just worthless. You're worthless to the whole debate.
It's not an ad hominem. It's an example. You are an example.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's not how. Okay, but you don't make a whole argument based off an example. Like if somebody was to say, like, if we're just throwing out random examples, then I could make the argument of like, I believe women are actually suffering more depression because men are too masculine, and then I'd point out like different masculine men, or you have to make some connection between the soyness of males and depression. You can't just be like, there's something in here that I view as a negative trait that many people in this room have, and that's the reason society sucks. Society sucks because of everyone I hate. Like I don't know. It's like it's like we're scraping the algae off the like ocean floor and we're putting it in a cup and we're putting it in front of a microphone and telling it to debate. That cup could produce a more coherent response than whatever Grace is saying right now.
I don't give a fuck about Destiny's sex life. I'm here to debate some issues. That's what I want to do.
You are an example of why women are unhappy. You're an awful person to be. Oh
yeah, the married man with 5 kids. I get it.
Yes. Yeah. You are
versus the 20-year-old who faked an incest scandal. Right. You're the pinnacle of morality.
Dude, there's so much on this person I don't know, and I don't think I want to know. What is Grace Thorpe been doing? Well, she's been getting around, man. She's been getting around.
Unreal.
Both you and Destiny are terrified of me, a 20-year-old girl, and you both said
why she keep saying they're scared of her. She's a very non-intimidating person. There's not many people online that I'm intimidated by. I think anyone I'm intimidated by, but there's people that like if I was going to talk to, I'd be like, oh shit, I better prepare. Like if I was gonna debate Mearsheimer, right? Like, you know, international relations scholar, been doing public speaking for much longer than I have. You know, that's something I'd be like, oh snap, man, I would prepare for it. I'd get ready. I'd probably be pretty nervous going to that conversation. There is no reason for Destiny, Andrew, for anyone in this room to be nervous talking to Grace. No reason.
That you would never speak to us or platform.
You remember that last time we debated and you sent me a message saying that you got your ass kicked? Because that's about to happen again.
Hey, Gamoto, thank you for the 200 bits. It's because they don't want to talk to her. She's drama farming family. You'll see, lol. Okay.
Okay.
Well, no, I can understand not wanting to talk to someone, but she said they were scared of him. Because I could, like, for example, let's say there was like a pornographer in my community who went out and like filmed himself doing lewd acts in public. If I didn't want to talk to him, that isn't because I'm scared of him. It might be because he just grosses me out. It could just be that she's annoying. Femboy Senpai got gifted a tier 1 sub from Trashomancer in Gutter Chat. Thank you. Trashomancer gifted in Gutter Chat? What's he doing?
Okay, go ahead. You're an example of what awful men are available to women these days. You're the traditional side of it. Both of you suck.
Okay, Destiny, you want to respond to that?
I don't know how to talk to a 20-year-old's evaluation of my life or my relationships. I don't even know where I would begin to like
defend your marriage, Destiny.
I can't think of somebody whose opinion I would care less about. Like this chick started smoking at 16 and is like the replacement mom for her family with an abusive father. I don't know what I'm supposed to take in terms of. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that she thinks that men in life suck when her primary.
Oh my god, it's just all ad hominem. I have no clue about any of her family stuff either. This feels like such deep lore. Why would she do this?
Morally corrupt.
Why would she go in public and like, how did she think this was gonna go? That she was gonna be able to take all 3 on just by calling them like gay and like soy and like fake? A
curd is a curd.
Was that the plan?
TS Evans 88 got a tier 1 subscription. Asterisk TS Evans 88 asterisk got a asterisk tier 1 asterisk subscription.
Hey, thank you so much, T7 Svans. I don't know, Svans 88. Oh, I hope that 88 doesn't rep. Be careful, buddy. Okay. No, I'm a leftist. You know, I call everyone racist. Dr. Zeba, thank you so much for the tier 1 beats up for 2 months. I'm just confused, man. Like sometimes I'll watch debates and I'll see what the people do in those debates and I'll see them humiliate themselves. And all I can think about is, did they have no plan? Like I see this woman and I just think she has no plan outside of, I'm going to insult these guys and they're going to be so shook that for the next 2 hours in this debate, I'm Gucci. Like I don't need to do anything. I've already won. Was that like the plan? Was that the big scheme?
Father figure is also her like boyfriend / like abuser. So
I didn't mention him. I think he's a great guy.
of course you do.
Yeah. You let your wife fuck other men. Are you an example of somebody who should be trusted, who women should trust?
I mean, you let your dad fuck other women, so.
My dad has nothing to do with it. Why are you so obsessed with him? My dad has nothing to do with it.
Did she actually, I'm sorry, can somebody please answer my question? Did she actually sleep with her father, or am I just not getting some meme? Can somebody just please answer this question? Last time I'll ask it. I'm not gonna Google it. I don't wanna listen to the clips. She did actually. She did, and we know this. You guys are all saying yes, but I don't want to believe it. No, now somebody's saying no. Yes, no meme. Brother confirmed it. I do not know people who have talked about it. You sound like it's true. Not for a fact. So her brother says she did, but how can we know? So it's all based off her brother's allegations. So she possibly did it if her brother is to be believed. Got you. Okay. So it's a question mark. We need some like Sherlock Holmes to come in and like, I've deducted that you took the daddy D on the September 17th. You need some guy to investigate.
You notice how
Hey, thanks for the 100 bits. Probably 94.78% sure. Got you.
I didn't bring him up and both of you bring him up?
Stop. It was fun in the beginning. I do want to bring it back on track. I do enjoy the petty ad hominem battles, but let's bring it back on track.
They live in Rhode Island? Okay, well then she did that. Yeah, she slept with her father. Okay. You guys got to tell me all the context before you just start throwing out little pieces of information. Someone would have told me they lived in Rhode Island much sooner, then we could have avoided this whole thing.
Back to the initial topic.
Cool. Can we start with getting an argument from Grace?
That is my argument, that men like you are the people debating for or against what women need when you clearly have no idea. You're incompetent losers. That's my argument.
Incompetent losers.
Based.
Go ahead.
You just don't care.
Well, yeah, you haven't made an argument, Grace.
Look at yourself, Andrew. That's my argument.
That's your
You're
argument,
obviously
Grace?
deeply unhappy.
Your argument is look at yourself?
Yes,
Because you're
yes.
obviously deeply unhappy?
Look at yourself. You have a green screen. You chose to be like in an office basement.
What is this attack? This is the second time she attacked Andrew for the office thing. Who cares? What? What do you mean? He has a green screen. Oh, that's a deep show of depression.
Or if that's really where you are, that's incredibly depressing.
Dude, if okay, I don't. Well, is green screen like a sign of depression? Or like the annoying orange cast, like all on suicide watch? Like I don't. What's wrong with the green screen?
My block
You
stick
talk
house.
about homosexuality constantly.
Uh-huh.
You're aggressive and rude. You smoke and drink like a fish.
Yeah.
What's
Do fish smoke? Also, doesn't she smoke?
like?
Wait,
Yeah,
are fish
take a look in the
smoking?
mirror.
Is that true?
There's a lot of fish that are like known for like their nicotine intake.
I mean, I definitely smoke and drink. That's true. That's like what that's what every good Orthodox Christian does.
No, it wouldn't be crawfish. It would be pufferfish. Huh?
Grace, you didn't know that? And by the way, that's what good Catholics do too, Grace. Like your dad, who smokes and drinks.
Wait, you smoke, Grace?
Yes, it does. And drinks.
Why are we talking about any of this?
So what?
So what's your argument?
If you smoke and drink, don't criticize other people for smoking and drinking.
Can you give us an argument that's not like because you guys are bad, because Destiny and Andrew evil? Can you give us an argument external to that, or no? Is your
No.
whole argument just no? Okay.
No, okay.
You have no right to speak on this. You have no idea what makes women happy. You're an insecure fake male, and so is Destiny.
Damn.
What's a fake male? Like he doesn't have a penis? Like I guess it would just be like, oh, he has blue hair, which isn't masculine. I assume that's what she means.
You're both terrified of me. Why should I trust two men who have said they're terrified of me and avoid me on every platform they go? And Destiny tells other
Terrified.
people they can't interact with me or he's going to ban them. I'm supposed to respect that as a man? As a man, I'm 20 years old.
Mhm.
Well, to be fair,
From
Destiny,
either of you? From either of you? What?
You know, I hate when people do this. I'm 20 years old when people use their age like that, right? I don't believe I ever used my age like that. I don't remember ever doing that. Thank God I never did. Because, like, you know what it sounds like when you say something like that? You know, I'm just 20 years old. I'm a dumb fucking moron. I'm weak and pathetic. I'm young and stupid and dumb and everyone should hate me. And even I strike fear into you. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Like, why are you putting yourself down like that? Like, I'm 20 and they're scared of me as if like, okay, they're 25. Oh, now you can be scared. Like, number one, they're not scared of her. But number two, like, I don't understand what she's, like, what's the point? Like, just be like, oh, I'm young and weak and fragile and stupid. They shouldn't be scared of me. Like, what's the point?
What did I ever do? What did I ever do?
to be fair, both Destiny and Andrew agreed to come on this panel knowing you
Well,
There was no
like, let's see,
Yeah, they
let's see.
finally show their scared little
Why wouldn't
just
we
gotta
want to?
say,
Why wouldn't we want to
Aaronite
platform a
up
person who
good, okay? Men down.
derails every single debate and conversation into her own petty family drama? Why would anybody not want to do that?
I'm
When
not the
we're
one who
here for a
derailed it.
debate
You
panel, why
derailed
would
it.
we
You
not want to do
derailed it.
that?
You derailed it. You talked
didn't-
about
come
it. I
on.
didn't.
You have not
I didn't.
made a single argument, Grace, because you're too stupid. You're literally not smart
I've
enough to
made an
make an argument. No,
I've
that's
made an
not an argument.
Look
What's
at
the
two of
argument?
you.
The argument is you
guys
dad.
have been online for years. You're terrified of a 20-year-old girl and her dad.
I
And you
haven't
come
even
up
been
with
online for 2 years,
ridiculous-
Grace.
You come
Grace,
up
I
with
haven't even been
ridiculous
online for
lies.
2 years. I
up
haven't
with
even been
ridiculous
online for
lies.
2 years, Grace. You just
Well, would
making
either-
shit up because you're an idiot.
Would either of you debate my dad? No, you're total pussies.
Ah, dude. Oh my God. Debate my father. Debate my father, please. How do you go into a debate panel? Make not a single argument. Not say anything worth its value at all. Just suck up air from the world. Be wasting oxygen. And then after you've shown that you have nothing to add, instead call everyone around you a coward instead of acknowledging that you shouldn't be in the room. You should probably not be on the panel. And then request that they debate your father. You know, I might not have an argument, but instead you should debate my father. She hasn't even made an argument yet. We haven't debated you. How can we debate your father if we haven't even debated you?
You'll
I
barely
already debated your dad and
barely
so did
get-
Destiny.
you'll
Wait,
barely
Destiny
get-
and me
You
and not
will
so erudite,
barely-
all three of
Yeah,
us
and then-
debated your
and
dad.
then-
I like this message from Gutter Chat. What are they debating? I've been watching for a little bit, but it came later. Can't figure it out. Don't worry, buddy. You don't need to know what they're debating to get the premise, man. Because she's making sure they're debating nothing. Thanks for the 100 bits. Wait for it, I'll wait for it.
And then you all said you can never interact with him again. Don't you notice a pattern here? Don't you notice a
Yeah,
pattern?
if you wreck a person that badly, you don't need to debate with them again because you already wrecked them, Grace.
You barely scraped up the courage to come here. Give me a break.
Here's how it went. You ready? Hey, Andrew, you want to come on this panel Monday? Yeah. Yeah, it was rough. It took all the courage that I had, Grace, in my heart. I had to summarize, I had to muster all of it to come on to the panel when Alex said, do you want to come on Monday? And I responded with, yeah.
That is
What
how
a
it
fucking-
happened.
Well, do you want to prove? Do you want to prove that you're not pussies? Do you want to prove that you're not a pussy, Andrew? Because
Why would they need to prove anything to you? Why would they need to prove that they're not pussies? They're on a debate. Just debate them. Just debate them on the topic. Prove that you have a reason to be there.
What, debating your dad so your dad could take your place? Just say, debate
Yeah,
my dad.
as you said, as you said, you can wreck me, right? I'm a 20-year-old girl. Go ahead. Are you a pussy?
Okay, so she's just trying to like goad them into debating her father. Was that the whole purpose of this? was that she was going to get on the show, not talk about the issue of like depression and mental health and like happiness or whatever. Don't talk about these issues. And instead, insult everybody else on the panel and then request they debate your dad. Do you like this should have been like the type of behavior you learned in like kindergarten that was like dumb, stupid, loser ass behavior. Like if you're in second grade and you get into like an argument with somebody or something, or a fight with somebody, and then after you get your ass beat in the argument or get your ass beat IRL, and then afterward you get up and you say, I'm gonna go get my dad, and if you don't fight my dad, you're a pussy. That isn't like a cool thing. That's the thing like the Biggest Loser in every 80s movie does. I think that's the most pathetic thing you could imagine a character to do in a movie like that. Because you're not fighting your own battles. You want your dad to fight your battles for you. Couldn't imagine doing something like this. Could you guys imagine I'm debating like Destiny on Ukraine or something like that? No, Destiny, you're wrong. And debate my grandpa. And then I just put my grandfather in the chair. I'm sorry. It's just, oh my goodness. It's sad. Like if your father wants to debate people, he should get booked somewhere, not you.
You won't let him on any panels. Neither of you will. You're both terrified of him. So you take me in.
It's not my show. Why are you asking me? It's not my show.
I said I'm not.
I'm gonna have to restart Hippy Dippy just so this man can have a platform.
To be honest, I had to stop interacting with your dad because every single fucking girl that I know, he's fucking tried to get with, and it's really creepy. I try to create as much distance between you and him as possible.
Oh, so you're afraid of him taking away your pussy because you're a little cuck. You're a little faggot.
Well.
Oh, you don't want all of your female friends to be sexually harassed? What are you, a cuck? What are you, a cuck? Well, I mean, considering how she likes to be treated publicly online, being like called a slut and getting on her knees or whatever. I don't know, man. Her like whole social, like how social interactions work, like social norms. I don't think she understands social norms very well.
Let's see. If I was a cuck, wouldn't I want her to take my pussy? Are you just like saying random words? That
No,
because
he doesn't. No, because he doesn't like you watching. You have to pay extra for that. A lot
when
extra.
Are we going to talk about Grace?
Dude, this just all feels like fetish, man. This just all feels like her like poorly disguised fetish. Every second of this.
Grace.
So you're terrified of him.
Dylan, your grandfather wouldn't take your chair. He would appear behind the shadows behind Destiny's chair. Maybe, man. He'd take all those skills he learned in Nam. Kill Destiny. No. But you know, go and debate Destiny violently in person.
So you're both terrified of him because Destiny's afraid of him because he's going to take his pussy away from him, and Andrew's afraid of him because what? You smashed him so hard last time, Andrew, that you had to delete that debate off your channel because
Grace,
you thought he was a CIA agent. Because you thought my dad was a CIA agent.
It sounds like you're the one who's afraid. You're trying to replace yourself in a debate. You're trying to replace yourself in a debate.
I will comment one thing. I've had multiple female guests tell me to please not have Ben on the same time as them. So,
oh my God, this guy sounds like a fucking menace. If Destiny doesn't want to interact with him because he makes women feel weird, and playing with fire is like, nah, man, he makes women too feel weird. I've gotten like a lot of comments. There's something wrong, man. There's something wrong, man. If you got red-pilled PWF to say like, yeah, nah, man, dude's creepy. Yeah, no, man. Nah, he's got to be at a creep factor of like 11 if you got PWF saying, nah, man, that's not good. He's weird. Could you imagine Andrew Tate being like, yeah, no, that's kind of rapey? Wouldn't that make you be like, oh, shit. Oh, my God. This is serious stuff if Andrew Tate's saying it's a little rapey, you know? Not accusing playing with fire, if anything. I'm just saying, like, if everybody in the room is like, nah, man, your dad's creepy.
I can't understand the struggle from Destiny's side.
I've had just because he's a women approach me. 5 different women approach me that have shot him down because he's like very, very, very forward and very, very, very creepy. With
I don't mind platforming your dad. It's just I can't do it with a lot of women who like legit say I will not come on. If
remember that time he was driving down the street and started pulling that girl's hair who came to stay with you, Grace?
Yeah, she said it was fine.
Yeah, she's. Yeah, that's not fucking weird and creepy at all.
Woman, right? Your wife probably beats you up every night, every time you lose a debate, which is always. She beats you real good, so you pay attention next time, right?
Dude, I'm sorry, man. This sounds stupid, but God, because I'm only 2 years older than. Oh my God, I'm only 2 years older than her. Dude, she doesn't feel like she's 20. She feels like she's like 14, man. There's like not a single ounce of maturity in her. It's just like, your wife beat you up, you're a cuck, you're a loser, cuck, loser, 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 fake male, debate my dad, debate my dad, debate my dad. Doesn't feel like a real person.
She's a bodybuilder, right? She's got to have all those muscles for something.
Grace.
To beat her
I'm not pulling on random women's hairs.
From Ben Thorpe for the 20th time online.
You're trying to replace yourself in the debate, Grace.
Andrew, you're the traditional one. I'm a 20-year-old girl. What the fuck am I doing on a debate
panel? I didn't invite you on the panel.
God, there it is. This is what I was talking about. When somebody says that, it sounds like they're just calling themselves fucking like remedial and stupid. Like, what am I doing here? I'm just a 20-year-old girl. I don't know. Maybe somebody should kick you off if you're admitting that you're too stupid to talk about the topics. Leave.
Panel? Did I set the panel up, Grace?
I'll switch out for him right now.
This is the panel game. This is the panel game, guys. This is the panel game post Hippy Dippy. And how far we have fallen. Then again, if I'm being for real with you, I probably would have invited her on to Hippy Dippy. Prime Hippy Dippy? Probably. Then again, the more I listen about her, the least I'm like, I don't really know if I want to interact with that. You know what I mean? Dylan, did you know she has a slap fetish? What do you mean she has a slap fetish?
Say, I'm sorry for burning your clothes.
I'm sorry for burning your clothes.
What the fuck? I don't want to, dude, what is going on with, look, okay. What somebody's fetish is in private is one thing, okay? But when you're posting this thing publicly and I can click it in a YouTube video, it's going to come up, man. I don't understand why someone would want to pick that up. But I'm going to, no, that's messed up. I can't make that joke. I can't make that joke. I was going to say every time she says something stupid, can we pick up that, can we watch that video again? No. That was a joke. She posted it. Don't blame me. She posted the video. Okay. She posted the video. Yeah, I'm not gonna go kink shame people, but like it feels like her whole brain is just kink and no brain. You know what I mean? Like her like there's no like her brain isn't smooth. It's literally like covered in latex.
Did I set the panel up, Grace?
I'll switch out for him right now.
No.
Grace, it's not my panel, Grace.
Not an option. It has to be you, Grace. You can't avatar your way to your dad. This is not a Ben Thorpe. This is a Grace Thorpe debate. All right, let's redirect back to the initial topic.
Like, just start seething. How can we direct back? What's the argument? There's no argument.
Grace, okay, if you can make an argument, what do you think about this issue without referencing the people on the stage? I think that would help a lot.
That'd be fantastic.
Okay. There are people, women are contingent on men. So.
Let's go.
No, Ben. Negative.
Alex.
Dude, he looks like a.
Why not, Alex?
That's her father.
You want to talk shit? I'm here.
No,
here we go.
You were not invited guests to this panel. I'll have you on some other time, but I have to clear each guest with each person. I haven't asked Andrew, Ala, or Destiny if they're okay with talking to you. I'm not going to do like
not personal. Give him 5 minutes.
I'm not going to do I'm not going to do a bait and switch on the other people on this panel. It's not what I'm going to do. That's not fair to everyone else who's here. So if Ben wants to come on, he can text me. We can talk about it, but it's not going to be a bait and switch last minute.
No. He doesn't want to switch on them.
I'm not going to do a bait and switch.
Ask them.
It doesn't matter.
Ask Andrew and Destiny.
I don't know.
Make them say they're afraid of him. They won't talk to him. They won't give him 5 minutes.
I'm too scared. I can only shit talk him.
Okay,
I can only
Destiny
shit talk
says
him.
he's too
I'm too scared. I'm so scared.
He can only shit talk you behind.
Why did they want to switch out into the dad so much? I've never listened to this guy talk, but he must be the smartest guy in the universe to want to switch out with him so desperately as the host is telling you no. This is an easy way to get banned off of a panel permanently, or even if you're not banned, to just not get invited back. And considering the fact that she said they can't get on any panels, I'm starting to figure out why I think she can't get on any panels.
You're back.
Yeah, I'm so
What about you, Andrew?
Spoken like a true cuck.
Yep, true.
Let's fucking
He's
go.
chain smoking, which is a confirmation that he too is very terrified of your father.
Grace, I was extremely clear that this is going to be you, not you and your dad. Like, I was super clear about that.
Didn't you know their package deal?
Let's go, pussies. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Daddy's not going to hurt you. Just fucking
This is
sit
like,
there.
dude, this is like a kid who didn't get invited to a party who's standing outside the house.
Daddy isn't gonna hurt you. Dude, it's all fetish, man. It's all fetish.
Go. Come on. Daddy's not going to hurt you. Just fucking
This is
sit
like,
there.
dude, this is like a kid who didn't get invited to a party who's standing outside the house for 2 hours, like trying to beg you to do that.
Give him 5 minutes.
Dylan, he can't get on the debate panel due to the fact that everyone's afraid to debate him. Isn't that obvious, Dylan? It's very obvious. Very obvious. It seems like everybody is just kind of just treating him like the town pervert. Can I be honest? He just kind of feel, you know, the house that the kids kind of like speed up on their bike as they pass by. No, the house where the moms are like, "Don't you stay by Mr. Thorne's house too long. You get on past that. If you drop your soccer ball or basketball in that front yard, it's gone. It's gone. Don't even think about it, mister." That's what it feels like. It feels like the panel community is treating him kind of like that, you know? And I don't even know like if he's good at debate or anything. I've never listened to him debate. I'm not familiar with this guy. Does anybody have any like examples of his most brilliant moments? Seems like a very seems like a Rhodes Scholar, this guy.
Give him 5 minutes. Give him 5 minutes. Come on, Alex. You know he's a better debater than I am. He's a better debater than I am.
But you were the one
Much
invited.
better.
Him. He's
It's a
different
master
person. You guys are
debater.
not like a package deal, or I guess I didn't know you were. If that's the
Pick on the
case.
fucking girl. Come on.
You gonna let them all pick on me? All 3 of these people have said disgusting things about me.
Everybody. You made it really weird.
Disgusting things. You opened up with you're a cuck. You let other people F your wife. Your wife is too masculine. You went after like Andrew's wife. I don't what did you expect?
First of all, I'm just letting them respond. So far, it's mainly been you and Andrew going at it and making personal attacks at each other. I have no problem platforming them.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
It's not
I
happening.
just have to say,
It's not
Race
happening.
has been kink shaming me in Nick's race play, and I'm very upset about it. Okay.
Well, if you're free to make a statement, because we haven't heard one word from you so far, Kyle. Don't fucking
That's
do
all
it.
I need to say.
I'm gonna kick you. I am straight up gonna ban you. Don't do it. I'm gonna ban you from the thing. You're gonna get permanent ban from my channel. I don't recommend you do it. You will be permanent banned. I will never have you.
I don't know. I couldn't hear what you said.
You will be permanent banned from my channel. I will never have you on again. I will never platform you.
Oh, she gave me the headphones. I didn't hear what you were saying.
Dude, they're getting away with so much. Alex is so lenient. He's so unbelievably lenient. I don't know if it's because he knows if he kicks like Grace, then it's just gonna be Andrew and Aerodine Destiny, and maybe it won't be as much content, haha. But like they're being so lenient with them. They're not laying down the law at all.
I thought you were saying it was all right.
Back to headphones. It's getting super fucking weird. This is a Grace debate. You can't take her place.
No problem. No problem.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Okay.
Bunch of
You should get
fucking
Alex
pussy.
to go. You get Alex-
Bunch of pussies. Bunch of pussies. Man, he sure got them. Who is this guy, man?
Go with your kick or keep. I feel like this is the energy that we.
What a character. You know, Prime Hippie Dippy, I would have had that guy going head to head with CTV. Could you imagine CTV, that guy going head to head yelling at each other? You found this? What's this? Ben Thorpe admits to sexting his daughter. What?
You know, when the kids were younger and Grace and John were fighting, at one point, I gave them 2 knives and said, "Go ahead, kill yourself."
Okay, that was a hell of an edit. That was a hell of a cut. Okay, I don't know.
I never peeped. But I did have a thing when I was going to school there because I'll admit I wasn't I'm not the healthiest guy. I had issues, but we were in Cambridge, Mass, at a place that would be unprohibitively expensive now, but it was owned by the school. There was a building right across from us, and there was a family in the building, and there was I don't know, older. I'm gonna say she was in her 20s. This girl, and they wouldn't put the curtains down, and I would just be waiting for the girl to take her, to undress for the night, and I mean that's terrible. But I did spend a lot of hours looking over there. You just sit there for hours. You're going like, oh, okay, come on, please.
On the side of caution when she's joking around with a 16-year-old girl, I mean, that's just obviously ridiculous. No.
What is being cautious with a 16-year-old?
Yeah, I mean, we're two girls. I mean, like the fact that
Let's say if we were talking, they could talk about like, is penis size important? Let's just say, right?
Ben, shut the fuck up.
Like you'll say this is provocative. I think a lot of the sexual predator priest stuff is overblown. I think a lot of those kids were gay kids.
I think you're.
Thought a lot of those kids were gay kids. Oh my god. Yo, they were gay kids. You can diddle them with their kids. What the fuck's wrong? What? Okay, I don't, dude. I'm like, in every one of these clips, I'm trying to think of like the worst way somebody could clip chimp somebody, because like I know how much I've been clip chimp, you know. But I don't. There's no way to like splice that, man.
I think 14-year-old whores who go on a mingle and are hoping to see a penis deserve to encounter porn.
I do think women are largely whores, but I wouldn't speak from my own experience. I've had several homosexual encounters, but I've not had any gay sex. I got somewhat molested by a beautiful girl when I was visiting my friend Joe Shabatoni. I loved it. I mean, she was beautiful. I think of it.
Go off a tangent.
The fondling.
Are you trying to say you got molested by a younger woman? Did you just?
No, she was old. She was old. His older sister. She was gorgeous.
Joe Sabatoni.
Yeah. And his mother sort of agreed with him. It was crazy. Totally crazy. Nothing to do with YouTube.
Oh yeah.
He found some. Whatever. This is when his mother was. I mean, this isn't really like YouTube, right? So. He was convinced of this somehow. I think his mother was telling him. So he went through his sister's phone and she sent me something, a teenage girl will send something. Maybe it was an emoji of a.
I think
eggplant
phrase. It was, hey, can you come up here and bring that big dick with you? And
right.
Plant emojis.
Yeah.
I have no memory. I don't know.
Saying. I think I'm the most sexually normal guy in the world.
Okay, you know what? The world is full of a lot of different people. A lot of strange cats engaged in strange activity. Yeah, no, I'm not surprised that Alex, Andrew, Erudite, and Destiny did not want to talk to that guy. What a character. Jesus Christ. Man, the panel scene, no matter how small it gets or how much it changes, some things never change, man. It attracts some of the wildest and weirdest people. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Now, let's get back on track.
There was never a track to begin with.
Yeah, where were we again? We were waiting for Grace's argument.
I made my argument.
What was the argument again?
That we suck.
Oh, you can't
That we
remember.
suck?
Yes, that you two suck. Yes.
Okay, well, my argument back is
And I'm
that
a
you
good
suck.
woman.
You suck worse. That's
Why?
my argument back.
Why?
Give me the reason why. Give me the reason why we suck.
I told you twice.
Yeah, you
You're
have a creepy
loser.
relationship with your dad. You have a
You're
creepy relationship with
loser.
your family.
You're a fake man who tries to puff up his ego by.
Oh, we got a Zan raid? Oh, Zan, thank you for the raid. I'm sorry I missed it. I was distracted by my brain trying to end itself while listening to Ben Thorpe communicate his actions.
By being aggressive towards 20-year-old girls online and being an asshole. That's why. You're a prick. You're a prick.
The 20-year-old girl who just ran to get her father to debate with me.
All right, I want to stop. Both of you stop. I want to get it back on track. It was fun for a while. Let's get it back on track. Kylie literally has not said one word this whole time. I don't even know if she can talk.
Again, she was criticizing them for smoking earlier. She's smoking right now. Whatever.
He hasn't gotten a chance to talk.
But that's been the best part of the debate, though.
It's because I'm a based alpha male.
Let's bring it back on track. So there's clearly disagreements between Andrew's position and Kyla's.
Dude, I really, somebody just said it in Gutter Chat. I feel bad for the Xander Hall Raiders who are expecting a Dylan stream. He's going to tell me about Ukraine. He's going to tell me about Ukraine. Sorry, man. Very, very sorry.
Destiny's position, so that's a good point to start on. Grace, we're still not really sure what your position is. If you could explain how you feel
He
about
doesn't
this
have a
topic without
position.
referencing people on the panel.
He doesn't
That'll make
have
it a
a
lot more
position.
clear what your thoughts on this are, and then we can have an actual debate.
Okay, women are torn between two options. They can either be rad trad traditional wives with fake masculine men at their helm, or they can be whores who get used by liberal men who may or may not have blue hair and, you know, a sad face right now. So,
Okay. We can build on.
forget you.
Dude, it's impossible for her to not talk about the people in the room.
Forget Zoomer guy.
She has so little ability to make like independent, coherent thoughts. All she can do is attack the people around her. She can't actually think about the topics. I don't even know if I honestly do not know if she has the ability to form an opinion. Because, you know, this has been going on for almost 20 minutes now, and she has yet to actually form an opinion outside of, I hate everyone else on the panel.
Guys all together. They're all addicted to porn. They're sweethearts, but they have no idea how to deal with women. So,
hey, I'm addicted to porn. I don't know how to deal with women. Happy to join the list.
women who are contingent on men don't have any men who can provide them with stability and security. That's why.
All right, we got an argument. Let the debate begin.
I don't know where we're at. I don't remember. I don't remember where we're at.
Well,
Grace thinks it's all men. Destiny and I are basically saying I don't know if the happiness thing is exclusively gendered, and I think I'm sorry, it's been so long. I literally can't remember your argument.
I actually don't blame you. I honestly don't blame you for once.
He's quite forgettable. Yeah.
All right, so why don't we let Andrew repeat his argument really quickly?
Oh, I said I think that
Yeah, does anybody have that video of her getting slapped again? I'm sorry. Okay, we'll keep going.
Primary reason for the decline in happiness, while I would concede that yes, it is across both sexes, that the reason that it's
Uber got a tier 1 subscription. From San having a nice convo with Kraut to Dylan learning about a man whose partner, daughter, and source of income are all the same woman.
Oh God! Wait, does she pay the bills? That'd be really funny. The reason society's failing is all these submissive men. Yeah, I pay the bills. Oh yes, of course. What do you? I'm sorry. Ugh.
heightened for women in a general sense.
He gave her all his money. You know what? I've got enough lore. I got enough Thorpe lore.
It's because of the change in dynamic of family. So I think it's the change in dynamic at family and the amount of children being born less. And I think that the kind of primary.
And also, thank you for the tier 1. Oh, and Xander Hall had a good talk with Kraut. That's good to hear. Kraut's a good guy.
Primary function of women, if you will, or their overwhelming biological need is to have children. I think that's hardwired into them, and that when they have children, they tend to be happier.
Okay, there we go. I think Destiny and Kyla can definitely work with that.
Go, Kyla. I already talked.
Fuck, sorry. I was distracted partway through by Nick, guys.
Wow.
I'm sorry. He was just asking me a question about some chore stuff. Okay.
Did you send him back to do the dishes? There you go, little boy. Make sure you do what mommy told you to. You get your treat.
It's race play, actually, so I prefer if you don't shame it.
What race is he? He's white.
No, he's not.
I mean, it was very not white.
If families made women more happy, they've got the opportunity to choose families right now. Why wouldn't they just do that? Do you think that like every woman in society, because in order for the conservative theory to be true here, 2 huge sets of women are making mistakes. One, all moms are making mistakes because it's oftentimes moms that are pushing the daughters to go get to school, to go get an education, to go get a career so that they don't have to live like the same lives that they did. And then 2, all the women that are being pushed are making the mistakes of doing it as well. If it was like so much better to just be a mom, why wouldn't women just be like, fuck it, let's go settle down and have kids?
It's a good point. Well, maybe it's something about the conditions. I mean, everybody, and this is like the most basic progressive left-wing take, but if you do not create good conditions to have children in Western developed countries where people have, you know, the choice to not or to have or not to have children, many of them won't have children. So the impetus is on the state to create an environment either through subsidies or, you know, paid publicly funded daycare or more public healthcare services for children provided by the public. We need to create an environment that is good for having children, raising children, and protecting those children. Dylan, I've watched you for at least 3 years and only donated 3 times, and I just want to say this convo was so awkward and uncomfortable. Thank you for the 100 bits. Yeah, no, this conversation is very awkward and very uncomfortable, which is why many of you are still here watching. It's like Borat almost.
Well, because
except Borat's a woman and also dumber than Borat.
Because overwhelmingly, they're kind of trained to want these goal markers, which is security based. Things like a college education, you see them going after higher education far more often than men, for instance. You see them kind of going for those markers more and more and more. And so it's societally reinforced, in other words, and has been for a while. We've been kind of moving towards starting families later and later and later when people are more financially secure. So women are waiting longer and longer. That's one of the primary reasons that there's a decline in the birth rates to begin with, is because women are waiting until later to have families. So when they even do have children, they don't have as many as they would have had if they had started when they were younger, because there's a kind of a time stopgap on this.
Well, even that's not necessarily true, right? Like, it's not like women tend to limit the amount of kids they have by how long they can have kids, right? Like, they
I mean, that necessarily that necessarily follows that
No, it doesn't.
women are more fertile when they're younger. Of course.
It doesn't matter. More, you can easily have kids up to probably 40.
You can, that's true, but the amount of defects and other risks which are associated with it greatly increase past X age.
Well, I mean, I would imagine that it's not even that. It would just be, if you wait until later to have children, it's like early voting. Like, maybe everyone even intends to vote. You know, a lot of people intend to vote, but if you don't vote early, you know, something might come up that makes it so you don't vote. Maybe you get an emergency call. Maybe you have a medical problem. And same thing can happen with children, where you get up to the age of 30, you're ready to have kids, and dang, you got this, you know, flat tire and you can't cover it, and a car crash, and this healthcare bill, and man, childcare is expensive, and man, maybe I gotta wait until I got that promotion, and then before you know it, you're like 45. Now the chance to have children's gone. That's why it's important to create conditions where people feel comfortable to be able to, you know, bring children into this world, because bringing children into the world is a beautiful thing. Creating life is one of the most basic roles of humanity, and, you know, of any species, really. And it's a beautiful thing, and it's something that should be encouraged. But I don't think that, like, you know, going back to the old, bring women out of the workforce, stop women from voting, we gotta go super traditional. I don't think that's gonna solve all the problems either, because that society just left a lot of problems unattended and meant that for 50% of the population, their destiny was chosen by their birth. And in a land of freedom and of opportunity, I feel like that's, I don't know, pretty hypocritical to at least the spirit of what America's supposed to be.
Yeah,
So
well,
if you're looking,
but again, even at 40, if you really want to have kids, you can still have kids. Like,
you
no problem.
can, but you're going to have less probably than if you started having them in your 20s.
Yeah, but how many people started in their 20s or started in their 30s? If you start when you're 30 years old, you could easily have 10 kids.
You
But it's not
can,
like these people are like, God, I only had 10 kids.
but it's far more. You can, but it's far more risky. And generally speaking, if you look at the trends, yeah, it is riskier to have a child even at 30 than it is to have them when you're 24, 25.
Increase is really minimal until basically 35. Where
I didn't give you a percentile of
Yeah,
how
but
much
like
the risk is. I'm just
a small jump in risk
Kyla,
isn't
who
like-
cares? I'm just
Well, you're
expressing
making
there
the
is a
causal claim
distinction.
that the
I'm
increase of
making
risk
a
is, like, impacting
distinction,
the
Kyla.
happiness, right?
Calm down, Kyla. Let me finish my argument. So what I'm saying to you is that when women begin to have children younger, they do generally tend to have more children. If you look at like religious trends, for instance, you're going to find this same type of thing. Oftentimes, religious people get married when they're younger. Oftentimes, they have more children. It just kind of follows. And it makes sense almost intuitively, not just with the data, but intuitively, it makes sense that if you start having children when you're younger, you're probably going to have more of them. Now, it might not be for every woman who exists, but, you know, I think that it's, as far as a commonality, true.
So is your claim basically that women are going to be happier if they can have more children?
Well, or any children. I think even any children is better. So
Sure,
I think that.
but we all agree that you can have more. You can have children at 30. So are you? I'm trying to understand.
you
Are you trying to
can.
relate happiness index to number of children?
Well, so couples, if you have, well, I mean, that is tied in though. That if you look at
I'm
that,
just
that-
asking. I'm
yeah.
literally just trying to clarify.
Yeah, so I am saying that I think that women, generally speaking, if they're married and have families, they generally report that they're higher on the happiness index than women who do not and are single. There's flux in that data, and you have to add other things into it, like religion, things like that. You're right when you guys say it's complex and there's more than one issue involved, but I do think the family dynamic is one of the primary reasons.
Like, do you think women would be happier with 3 children instead of 2, or 4 children instead of 2?
I don't know specifically, but I think more than one, you'd
expect it to
start
go up,
find a,
like,
find some
right?
kind of find some kind of correlatory. I do think that women who have larger families probably do say that they're happier on the index.
So the research that I can find on this says that the first and second children do seem to provide both parents a boost in happiness, but the third does not, and the fourth distinctly does not. So it's like 1 and 2 kids seems to make people like.
What do you think's going? I'm sorry, like this conversation's super interesting or whatever. It isn't, but send me a little bit. What do you think is going through Grace Thorpe's head right now? I'm sorry, now I'm just fascinated by this character. What do you think's going through her head? Do you think she's like thinking about how great she did? Do you think she's reflecting on how much she actually sucked? Do you think that like she's thinking of like points to make? I don't think she's thinking of points to make. I don't think she's got much really going up there at all. I just assume that the same way that you like flip on and off like a, you know how like an Alexa like only really like processes once you say Alexa, and then it'll like turn on and it'll start responding. I think her brain works in a very similar way. She's got to hear somebody say Grace, and then like her brain turns on, and then it can start to churn. Because if it's constantly working, it might start to steam or like smoke, start grinding. You don't maybe it's not oiled up enough.
Happier on average, but beyond that, so like,
well,
if
link
we're
the
talking about
link
women having
the
bunch
research
of kids,
for me,
sure.
and then tell me where you're finding this.
But wouldn't you have to ask why women don't want to have children?
Yeah, but I mean, right now we're just
that's actually somewhat of a contribution.
But we're trying
yeah,
to
we're just kind of
correlate
setting the
children to
groundwork
happiness.
for whether or not it's even problematic, right? Like we're just starting by laying the groundwork, Grace.
Well, obviously people are having less kids. What do we need stats for? Everybody knows that.
Well, no, the question is why they're having less kids. Well, no, the question is if it's the less kids that are making them, whatever.
Yeah, that's not really what we're arguing. Like, why don't you understand?
What
why
are you
can't
trying to
follow the
determine?
argument?
If the third and fourth kids make you less happy than the second and
oh my God, forget it.
second?
Just forget it. Just like, who even?
Well,
why even
she confused me. She's confused me. Now I'm confused. I don't.
What are
have
you
the
guys
fucking
talking
debate?
about?
Why even have the debate?
I don't understand.
That's the first
What are you
intelligent
guys
question that
talking
you've
about?
asked all night. What the fuck are you guys talking about? That's the
What
very
are
first
the
intelligent thing you
statistics for?
said.
There's no conversation here.
Oh, you
guys
mean
are
the
just trying to-
the statistics we were just about to go over?
If there's no conversation, then why'd you sign up for a conversation?
Why don't we talk about the bigger question? Why don't people want to have as many kids? That's obviously true. People have way less kids now and have them later in life.
Because I don't think we would disagree necessarily about the reasons that they're having less kids later. I don't think that was the point of the contention, Grace.
It's about whether or not having less kids is making them unhappy, right?
Yeah.
So you can give your input on that, Grace, whether you agree or disagree with that.
Yeah, great.
Alex, don't egg her on.
20-year-old lady, please tell us what you think about having kids and how that influences the happiness.
And how many should women have before they'll be the most happy, Grace?
Well, obviously, I mean, people are made to have children. We're made to reproduce. So I think you should have kids naturally, of course. Everybody wants to have sex, and obviously sex ends in kids. So kids do make people happy. That's true. Families make people happy. The problem is people have fucked up families. Everybody sucks nowadays, so nobody wants to have kids. Haven't you ever, like...
I'm sorry. Well, so what do you think is causing the lack of childbirth? What do you think is causing the lower birth rate? Everyone just sucks. Oh, wow. No, you're really a speaker, a political thought leader for our time. People suck today. That's why people aren't having kids. Why do you think everyone's dying in the Black Plague? I don't know. I guess everyone sucks. Why do you think cancer hasn't been cured? I don't know. I guess people suck. Everyone sucks. Everyone sucks. Sucks. He's very, very intelligent.
Heard people say, I don't want to bring kids into this world. That's the problem.
There's people who don't and are probably better off not having kids. It's not for everyone. It depends on what brings people happiness, because happiness, Like, kids is something that often brings a lot of people happiness. And I think on average, more people would be happier with children than without children, right? That's what I think. But I do think there's people who are also happy without children. For any number of reasons, whether it be work-related, whether it would be they're just not built for that, they're just not good with children, they don't feel like they would be responsible enough to raise a child, or they're just completely focused on something else. I mean, it could be any number of options. Maybe they want to adopt instead.
Everybody sucks.
Everybody sucks.
So we're back to because people bad.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So what would make people good?
Do you think people look at any of you three on the panel and think, yeah, that makes me want to be like that?
That's not the question. He asked you what makes people good. People bad, so what makes people good?
But aside from us, what would make people good?
I don't know, if they were nicer, if they weren't ageist, if they weren't sexist.
We'd have more children if people were less ageist, sexist, and nicer.
Like you fucks?
Yeah, so the isms. So
Joe Biden should pass the anti-mean act to bring up the birth rate.
So all that we need to do is get rid of the isms, and
Maybe if
then
they were
society
honest.
will be perfect.
Yeah, maybe if people were
stuff,
honest.
Grace.
Maybe if people didn't make fun of people for having sexual problems. Maybe if people didn't do this bullshit like you did with Nick Fuentes, didn't you, Andrew? They're all pedophiles, and now you're buddies with him again, right? Because you obviously clearly don't give a shit about anything you say. People like you are role models. People like Destiny, you guys say things all the time that you clearly don't give a shit about. If nobody gives a shit, why should you have kids? If you think somebody's a pedophile and then the next day you're buddies with them or you think they're facilitating pedophilia, who the fuck should listen to you? You clearly don't care about anything except grifting.
I should just endlessly get swatted for the rest of my life and have my family threatened. Great.
I have no clue what she's talking about. It's not related to the topic, and I don't know why she would expect everybody else would know what she's talking about or how it's relevant to how she's going to make, again, deep political philosophy here, all the bad people good people, so they keep making the babies.
I do think you should. I think you should kill yourself. I think that would probably be for everybody.
Big brain stuffed.
Don't take
it.
Cut it. Don't take it there. Don't take it there.
Cut it.
I'm just saying. That's my personal opinion.
No. Don't go there. Don't go there.
The world would be a better place.
No, it's cool. Let her get your channel banned, Alex.
Well, it's not gonna get my channel banned. Just kind of distasteful. All right. Anyway, let's get this back on track. So, I believe Kyla and Destiny.
Is she a leftist or a righty? What do you think? You want to make a guess? Want to take a swing at it? You want to take take a guess? You know what? I won't answer the question. I will just let everybody in their minds fill in the blanks and figure it out themselves. I'm sure with enough mind power, you'd be able to figure it out. Obviously, she's a Marxist-Leninist.
We're disagreeing with Andrew about whether having children is the thing.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, is that what a good person says? Does a good person ask another person to kill themselves?
Oh, I wasn't asking you to.
Is that like what?
I'm begging you to.
That is a good point. She was like, people are just too mean these days. Kill yourself. It's like, okay, well, I don't know. Maybe you're part of the problem.
Right. Is that what good? Wait, is that
I will say if Grace Thorpe was my representation of women, I wouldn't want to get married. Grace Thorpe might independently lower the birth rate just through being public.
What a good person says? Does a good person ask another person to kill themselves?
Oh, I wasn't asking you to.
Is that like what?
I'm begging you to. Please.
Right.
Please.
Is that what good people do?
As soon as possible. As soon as possible.
Would you categorize that as what a good person does?
We can all be relieved. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If it would make everybody happier, then yes. Yes. I beg you, Andrew, please.
All right, let's look.
Should they let 50-year-olds dance around them while they lick their panties? Does that make women happier, Grace?
Take all those guns you have. Take all those guns you have. Clean the barrels meticulously every day.
Wait, stop. This is a warning for everyone on the panel, but mainly you, Grace. Let's not talk about the kill yourself shit anymore. You can make fun of Andrew if you want or whatever, but don't do the death shit.
Hey, Grace, you've tried to bring in that random guest onto the show, and you've just been derailing the conversation since the very start, and you're telling all of my guests to kill themselves, and could you just cool it a little? Just cool it a little. We got the enforcer here and playing with fire. Real enforcer, real hard. He's really playing hardball in moderation style. I could have learned a lot and how to moderate panels from playing with fire, I would have learned a lot on how to keep people in line.
All right, anyway, it's okay. I forgive you. All right, let's get back on track. So where the fuck were we?
I don't know.
This is the most I've ever had to babysit a panel. Usually on these things, I'm just like not talking for half an hour at a time. I feel like I've had to take like a very active role in this discussion to moderate this. Okay, so do you think? Okay, look,
Grace, can you please stop doxing everybody else? Grace, can you please stop posting the social security number of all of my mods in the chat? Grace, can you please stop instructing my audience how to make pipe bombs? Grace, please. Grace, can you please stop encouraging sexual? Grace, please, can we get this panel back on track?
let me flip the question like this. Besides kids, do you think there's anything else that makes women less happy, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, all sorts of things are correlated into this. So one thing is loneliness. That's a big one, especially later in life. That can be a big one.
Yep, I agree with that. That's men and women, though.
But there's all sorts of correlatories. But I think that family function, family dynamics.
Dylan, you should bring back Hippy Dippy just to have Grace on and debate her. Look, if Grace wanted to talk to me for whatever reason, she can talk to me. I'll talk to basically anyone, no matter how, as long as they're not too weird and crazy. I don't know. Grace is actually, I think, might have met my limit. But, I mean, I like having a policy of I'll talk to anyone, so I'll keep it up. But I'm not going to go seek that out. Why would I seek that out? That would have to come from me for some reason. If Grace wanted to come on and debate me on Ukraine, yeah, she could come on and debate me on supporting Ukraine and if we should send aid. I think that would be a very productive discussion. Don't clip this and send it to her. Don't.
I think that that's a big one. I think that women, when they're raised by single moms, just like with men, they have, they're less likely to be happy overall in life. I think that two parents in a stable household generally does better for men and women. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of different correlations which go into this, but definitely the family dynamic is important.
All right, so Kyle and Destiny, would you disagree with that? Would you agree with that?
That the family dynamic is important?
For happiness? I mean, of course, the family dynamic is essential for happiness, but you'd have to supply evidence that like people are experiencing like family relations at like a significantly less rate, and that's like directly contributed for unhappiness. Because again, like when I look at like happiness facts, for example, it seems to be the case that like there's certain trends that affect both genders. Like men's happiness took a massive hit in the 70s because most of the manufacturing jobs got outsourced, so they were jobless, right? And being out of job is pretty awful for your happiness. So I don't know. I just don't know if all these things are gendered.
Yeah, but I mean, you would agree right now that women definitely suffer from greater rates of unhappiness than men do.
No, that doesn't actually seem obvious to me based on the varied research. The one stat that Alex cites claims that, but when you look at like 2022 data from like Gallup, or when you like compare different things, it seems mixed. What we do see is like greater levels of like specifically like anxiety, depression in women specifically. That does seem to be true, which we can never talk about.
Why do you think that is?
I think the like easiest thing to point at that seems to be decently causally linked is social media, and it seems to be particularly hard for women on social media.
Why?
I don't know if the reason why social media is hard. There's been some conversations about like upward comparisons and like beauty standards that are super unattainable for women. So it's not super clear why specifically.
So should women get off the internet? Should women get off the internet for their own good?
I mean, I don't think women should get off the internet. I don't think men should get off the internet either. I do think people should change how they engage with the internet. Not only making sure that they don't stay in like internet bubbles, but also making sure that like if there's something online that's like actually like harming you, and there are people who, and I know this is weird, but there are people who will see something online that is actively like hurting their feelings or like hurting like damaging them in some way emotionally. Like I know a lot of content creators who see people like call them like the most horrific stuff, and they won't mute them. They won't block them. I don't say block. I always say mute. Mute them so they keep posting, but you can't see them and they boost your post. And like, I think you should advise those people, like if there's a social media interaction that you're having that is making your life worse in any way, just stop engaging. It's not that important. I think there's certain like guidelines that people could live on social media. Like, remember that, like, another thing you could remember on social media, people are specifically choosing frames of their life that are the most appealing to show others. Their day-to-day life is not what they're showing you on Instagram. And how they look is not what they're showing you on Instagram. They're showing you a perfectly framed, like, makeup, like, shot with good cinema, like a good camera. That's what they're trying to show. They're trying to show you the best possible framing, right? The way, like, I come from an above shot. If I came from like a below shot under, and you just saw my like scruffy, I look a lot uglier than if I was to do this above shot. So that's just true. Like, so there's certain things I think you can tell people or inform people about social media on how to act on social media that it could improve their health. It could improve their mental health.
That seems like that's
like some of the most annoying things I see online is when somebody finds like a random like image from some YouTube video or some like news interview clip to find of some person that's like unappealing, and then we'll just like post that in the replies. I see that all the time. It happens to me, it happens to other content creators. And what bothers me about it is like it's always posted by people who never post their own profiles, period. And if you can't show your own face publicly, then I don't care how you think about how other people look, right? You just sound like a coward. But the second thing is you can make anyone look horribly ugly with like bad camera angles and like screen caps. And it's just like the most like low level, like low ball, like type of criticism you can make of anybody. But I'm seeing more and more of it online. And I wonder, and I think this is the case, but I wonder if the people who are involved in politics for the aesthetics, and I think a lot more people are involved in politics for the aesthetics than people would like to think, are the ones that do that more often. Like people who love Timbot dictators, people who are like big fans of Kim Jong-un, Putin, people like that, they are the ones who are going to lean into political aesthetics the most. The people who like soldiers goose-stepping and stuff like that. Same thing with people who like the Hugo Boss uniforms on the Nazis and love the aesthetics of power and like it when like somebody acts like a strong man and acts powerful, even if it disregards or checks and balances. Those people who live for aesthetics, they are the ones who are the most often engaging in that type of behavior, because for them, if something just looks like unappealing to them or they can find an unappealing picture of it, they're wrong because they're not aesthetically pleasing. It's not smart. It's just look at this image. Don't they look ugly? They must be wrong. That's all it is.
That's what you're arguing, right? It's like women should get off the fucking internet and then they'd be happier.
Nope. There's like multiple.
And you'll see it like all the time where they'll have like Putin next to Biden, and Biden looks old and decrepit, and Putin's on horseback and looks strong. You see this stuff all the time. It's the most shallow type of political commentary you could possibly make. It's not even political commentary. It's just thirsting after world leaders, and particularly the worst ones.
To a problem like this, right? It's possible that if we could figure out what specifically in social media is making, because it also makes men unhappy, just at a lesser rate, we could maybe just change that so that men and women can stay on the internet and not be made sad.
What do you mean, change that? How would you change that?
Well, if we could figure out what specifically is causing the rise of unhappiness in relation to social media, we could, whatever that is, we might be able to change.
Yeah, but you
just
said that it's for women, it's because of beauty standards which are unattainable and these other standards which are unattainable.
I said that's one of the theorized ideas, but it's definitely not concrete. Like the data isn't clear on like what specifically about social media is making men and women sad.
Yeah, but you would just go with the data that you think is the most clear then, right?
Do you want to get into like predictive models? I don't know how to explain this to you. Not necessarily.
No,
I would
not necessarily.
So the data that we have is quite robust and does seem to show like quite strongly a causal link between happiness in both men and women, but more so for women in social media use and specifically certain types of social media use. But
like
the like
what?
actual so it seems to be the case that women who are on like actual like social media, so like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, seem to be more affected in their happiness than if they're like on like Reddit or like surfing like the web, like in a more like kind of like faceless way. Like Reddit, for example, is like men use a lot of YouTube. Doesn't seem to have as big of a contribution for making people unhappy.
So like things like Instagram, you said that would be more correlative.
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok seems
so.
More predictive,
And what do you think those things are?
Why is it that like every part of this interaction, I can like, they're not yelling at each other, and this is a lot more peaceful than what they were talking about earlier. I don't like I feel like Andrew really doesn't like Erudite. I don't know what it is, if it's just a tone or just like he just really doesn't like Erudite. Like everything he's like saying like, yeah, how about you explain that to me, dumbass? That's the vibe I'm getting off of this.
On Instagram, what types of content do you think they're posting that's making them unhappy?
So I already said one of the theories is upward comparison, so like beauty standards, but that wouldn't explain men necessarily. It could actually be upward comparison for men as well. It's hard to say. But
Or it could be then that if the women left the internet and or got off social media altogether, that you might see men's happiness also increase and their happiness. It could be the same exact thing. Maybe what's making the men so unhappy that not so erudite is all the women posting, like half nudes and things like this and creating simp armies. Maybe that's part of it.
I guess you would have to present me data that actually suggests that men's happiness would just
according to you, there's no
increase if they
data,
weren't on social
right?
media.
There's like no data, so we're just speculating.
Well, if
here,
you were
right?
listening, you would know that I didn't say that there's no data. I just said that like there isn't conclusive data to point to precisely.
Yeah, there's
why
not no
specifically
data. It's
social
just
media.
not conclusive data. So I mean, we're speculating.
I think simp armies are actually pretty good for society as a whole.
Oh my
I think
God,
like
please shut her
because
up.
simping for somebody is kind of a complicated relationship. If you like them, if you're funny, it does actually give you some meaning and purpose, especially for these guys, but also the women enjoy it. I think people in general have forgotten that relationships are what people are really all about. Deep relationships. And yeah, sure, we're all very disconnected, but like simping for somebody, messing around in chat, getting to know people parasocially online is better than the utter isolation a lot of people face. I think social media on the whole is good. Because people are
social media is like replacing real life interactions. I think that's
True.
the big issue.
Yeah, it's like a tool, right? It can.
That's true. The thing is, if you're just using social media to supplement your normal like interactions with people, then social media probably isn't going to have that much of a negative effect on you. It might even have a positive effect on you, depending on how you use it. But when people are using it to supplement like actual like friendships, sit down conversation, stuff like that, then yeah, no, it's going to have a negative effect on your mental health. That's not like human beings are wired to interact physically and talk to other human beings in person. You cannot replace that through Discord calls.
Be good, but like it also seems to have negative effects as well.
But don't you think real life interactions have like degraded a lot? People have a lot less family, a lot less community. Everybody's so wound up about their boundaries, about their space, about their consent. Don't you think like people in general let loose on the internet a little bit because in real life relationships have sort of like gotten really, really...
Yeah, but that hasn't worked in making up for it. You have to have those real life relationships.
Alienated?
I think that sometimes, I don't think that's always true. I don't think letting loose on the internet is necessarily a good thing.
I would probably, I'll just offer this. My theory is I think there's a direct correlation between how much people spend online and how unhappy they are. I think that for people who spend like 10 to 12 hours a day on the internet, they have no friends in real life. Pretty much every single one of them is miserable and depressed. When I do street interviews and I talk to normies, most of them, they don't really believe a lot of this like cringy internet theories. They have normal lives, they have normal friends, they have girlfriends, they live life. I think there's definitely, and those people seem a lot happier than the people I interact with on the internet. But I'll just say this on this topic.
Bro.
I mean, social media is good for like niche populations. It seems to have been good for like, for example, like autistic people because they can like have a better time finding other like autistic people to be friends with or like neurodivergent groups. But it like seems on whole to like, I would argue it's possible that the community connections are actually disrupted by social media itself. Like,
I think in moderation, it's okay. Like in extreme moderation, it's totally fine. It actually can be beneficial because you can meet people you have never met in real life. Like when people overdo it, just like with anything, it just becomes like it just gets you. You just become antisocial. You spend all day on your computer. You don't have any real relationships. You don't have any real friends. People who you're friends with are people you've never actually met in real life. They're probably.
Hey, okay, here's a good test for my community. I want to check something. How many people in my community have gone out and hung out with somebody, like a friend, or just somebody, period? Right? And I mean, when I say hung out, I don't mean like go to work and work with them. I mean like hung out in the last 7 days. 1 if you have, 2 if you haven't. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to. I'm just curious. Huh. It's like half and half. Really? Last week, no, but once the school year starts, probably. 2, but that's because Baldur's Gate 3 released. I bought it, I just haven't played it yet. I do want to play it. Actually, now that I think about it, I've made a lot of progress on my big projects for my main channel. I think I might have some time this weekend to play Baldur's Gate. I think I have the script for the next 3 YouTube videos done almost. I'm almost done with the second. I'm gonna be able to do the third tomorrow. So if I have all these scripts done, then it's just up to the editor to, you know, edit it and do that. Well, you're playing Baldur's Gate right now. Is it fun? It looks fun. I never really got too into D&D, and I always felt bad about that. I always kind of wanted to like get into like an actual D&D campaign, but none of it ever amounted to anything. So Baldur's Gate is like, it's cool because I can do it whenever. Because the thing is, my main problem with D&D is like, I can't like make a certain hour every week. You know what I'm saying? I only have free time when I have free time. And it's hard. I have meetings every Tuesday to talk about how we can benefit messaging around contraceptives. Like that's the one meeting I have scheduled every week that I know I'm gonna have a meeting that one day. And that's every Tuesday, right? I don't do a lot of super scheduled meetings because I just can't. Oh God, IRI's rating me. I was gonna rate IRI. Okay, well, you know what, IRI? Thank you for the rate of 220 people. I appreciate it. You know, I love you setting the level over here. I was gonna rate IRI though. I was gonna rate IRI. Thank you for the 100 bits, Joshua Answer. Welcome everyone. We're watching the worst debate. And when I say we're watching the worst debate, I mean we are watching the worst debate. You might think Dylan's exaggerating. Dylan is not watching the worst debate. He's not watching a debate that bad. He's no, we are watching the worst debate. I actually advise you to turn around. To turn around. To flee, in fact, flee at the first moment you have.
Burns is an immoral.
Is there a master debater? I am the master debater. Thank you very much. Thank you for the tier 1 being so for 10 months. Appreciate it. Can't be that bad. Fabian and Rob aren't there. I don't think you know who this Grace Thorpe person is, okay? I don't think you know who this Grace Thorpe person is.
Morally corrupt, bankrupt man.
I watched Haas and President Sunday 4-hour debate. That was pretty bad. I didn't even watch that shit. I am B Mike. Thank you so much for the tier 1 and being sub for 16 months. I appreciate it. And hey, as always, if you want to donate to the channel and make sure all your money gets to the people behind here doing the journalism, definitely, because I'm trying to fundraise right now for a new service, for new body armor, new helmets. I need new plates. I need a new plate carrier. I need more equipment. If you want to help the channel out, you can go to DylanBurns.tv, go to that website, donate, sub, support the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Man, we actually got a level 1 hype train. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I warned you guys. Don't tell me, oh, Dylan, you didn't tell me it was this bad. I told you it was bad. I told you it was bad.
Like some fat dude in India who you think is like a hot girl. So yeah, there's all kinds of issues with that. All right, that's as much as I'm going to engage in a debate. Do you guys have anything more to add to this topic? Or do you want to move on to the next one?
You can move on. Like,
all right, cool.
They barely got to talk about women's happiness. They most of this was just Grace Thorpe insulting everyone else, and everybody telling Grace Thorpe that she had intercourse with her father, and like Grace just derailing. And there was like a small like back and forth between Nato, Erida, and Andrew over social media. Like there was like nothing said here.
I hardly even know where we were at with this one, to be honest with you, because the whole thing got derailed. So.
All right, well, let's try to keep the next one more on topic. So, next topic is, should men treat women as equals?
Should men treat women as equals? God, man, the panel space. The panel space, dog. Wow, that sounds bad. I told you it was bad. Thank you for the 100 bits, Lizzie. Thank you. Yes, I don't think you necessarily need to treat men and women literally the same, because there are differences. There's medical differences. Obviously you can treat them different when it comes to medical stuff and society or socially. People not only are socialized differently, people prefer, at least in my experience, prefer a lot of different socialization. But when it comes before the law and how the state should treat you, equal under the law.
I don't know who you want to start with.
You don't need to make an opening statement. You can just free flow it.
I feel like this is always one of those like bait questions where what we're really asking is what do we mean by equal?
Jesus, guys, you guys are dropping a lot of biddies. Oh my goodness, 100 biddies from Dank Prol. Red pill shit is going back to the 1950s, unironically. 200 biddies from IO Failure. Well, to be fair, earlier tonight I did mention that the clitoris is a myth. IRI didn't like me mansplaining that topic. The clitoris is a myth? And what was I messing with? Oh, I got some soul searching to do.
I think that's like the
Yeah,
because like the same probably
equal?
not, but like equal rights and everything afforded under the law, probably, yeah. Right.
Equal access.
I think we generally agree about this one. But I mean,
I don't know that I don't know that I do.
Okay,
So,
does everyone think that women should be able to vote?
no.
There it is. There it is. Women shouldn't be able to vote. Okay, let's hear why. Why should women not be able, why should 50% of the population, many of which have contributed much more than either me, Andrew, or anyone else on this panel will ever contribute to the United States, why should they not be able to vote? Let's hear it.
Okay, there we go. That would be our disagreement. Why do you think
Yeah.
that women should not be able to vote?
For the same reason, I don't think most men should be able to vote.
Wow.
Which is?
Which is that they have no stake in the game. And so if you don't have a high enough stake in the game, why should you be able to vote in the game or delineate the direction that the nation should go?
This is the same thing I heard like from some people who want to bring it back so only landowners get the vote. But the thing is, everyone has a stake in the game. Everybody has a stake in like, oh, you know, the economy's doing well, labor relations is doing well. Everybody has a stake in the game. You have a stake in the game because the way the country's going is going to affect your standard of living. That's how you have a stake in the game. And the problem is, if you're only going to make it so the ultra wealthy have a quote unquote stake in the game, then what you're going to end up doing is creating a state that just caters to their interests and the interests of no one else. And for many of them, it's going to be trying to, you know, hold on to power as tightly as possible, keep their position of power. And why should they care about the unwashed masses who also want to climb up the social ladder? It's not smart. I don't think it's smart. I think having democracy where all members of society can participate is much, much better. Not to mention the fact that there are many women who contribute much more, like I said earlier, than anybody on this panel, than me or anyone else. Like, you think all those female astronauts, do you think they have more or less skin in the game? Considering they put their life on the line for the advancement of American science. Anyway, whatever.
How do women have no stake in the game?
Well, not just women, men too. So this is the big problem. What I would
We all
propose,
have a stake in the country and how good the
So then wouldn't then it wouldn't be you won't want women to vote. Your thing is you would not want people with stake in a game to vote. But women, there are a lot of women who make more money than Andrew, actually. A lot of money, make more money, produce more economic productivity. So why would it be women doesn't get a stake? Why doesn't he just do like landowners or the only ones that vote, or the ultra wealthy? It's still wrong, but that would make more sense than only like women should be able to vote. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so what I would propose would be some sort of limited democracy, which is what we started with in the Republic anyway, was a limited democracy where only 5% of people could vote anyhow.
We still have a limited democracy. Prisoners can't vote. Felons in many, many, many states can't vote. Of course, anyone under the age of 18 can vote. Non-citizens can't vote. We still have a limited democracy.
And I mean, our entire electorate system has changed drastically in comparison to the early parts of the nation. And I do think that stakeholder democracy is far better. What my proposal would be is service guarantees citizenship. So some sort of elongated.
So it's Starship Troopers.
Unpaid service to the state. And then from there, you can vote. And that would apply to men and women. I think both of those would be fine.
Okay, so women can vote. So it was just a hyperbolic statement then. Okay. I mean, I still think this is silly, but I mean, it's not women not being able to vote.
I just think that you would necessarily end up with far more men who would do it.
Isn't the issue here really like, are men and women complementary, or are they like distinct individuals? Like, do they work together, or are they perfectly fine separate from each other? Because I think men and women are complementary. So just be a lot of the time.
Also, I guess my main problem with the idea of service guarantee citizenship is a lot of people are going to end up, and I don't mean to disregard the military, but if we get it so basically mostly the military are going to be the ones, and that's not the only group that would probably be allowed, but it's mostly going to be the military, or that's going to be a very large overrepresented percentage. I understand wanting to have their say in the country, and they should have their say, but if we make it so that their votes are weighted more than everybody else's, anybody who didn't, do the service, so because they don't get the vote, then isn't there a problem where you're going to have people in certain sectors of society dominating the country like the military? So they're going to direct more resources to the things that they serve in, like the military. And you could have a situation where basically you're just having veterans, or overwhelmingly veterans, run the country, diverting like tons of resources to the armed forces when maybe it's not even necessary. I'm just speculating, because I've never really sat down and thought about, like, what if we did Starship Troopers but real, But wouldn't that be a concern? Because I know that I've seen these types of weighted limited democracies before in action, where the military gets a larger say. You want to know the two countries I'm thinking of? Myanmar, which is currently engaged in a horrific civil war, and its military is engaged in genocide, like just horrific violence, and Thailand. And in Thailand's case, they're currently going through a crisis, a democratic crisis, because the person who won the most votes and overwhelmingly won the elections in Thailand is not going to get elected, because the military-aligned senators wouldn't vote for him, because he wanted to pass a reform that makes it so that you will no longer go to prison if you mock the king. And that was too far, even though it seems that a decent percentage of the population, at least enough to win the election, supports the idea. And so all the instances that I see something like this, that I know of, Thailand and Myanmar, they're not like shining examples of extremely functional states. One of which is a country, literally a failed state, Myanmar. 1/3 of the country to one half of the country is controlled by rebels. The only area of the country that they really have a solid hold on is the capital.
When people say
Thailand has a king, yes, he does. You want to see what the king of Thailand looks like? Oh boy, I love showing people the king of Thailand. This guy. This is the king of Thailand. He's a interesting fella, to say the least, and you're not allowed to mock him. It's illegal. You are not allowed to mock him. That is very illegal. You are not allowed to mock him. Anyway.
Women should be treated equal to men. What they mean is they should be treated as men, which is sort of prioritizing men and deprioritizing femininity. Really what they are is they work together.
Thanks for the bits. And hey, and if anyone wants to donate or sub, DylanBurns.tv, that's the place to do it. That's the place to do it. None of it goes to Jeff Bezos, none of it goes to YouTube.
Everybody knows that, right? I mean, if you say men are better leaders and women are better supporters, that's obviously true, no? They're different, but they have equal dignity.
I think everyone on this panel would agree that men and women work better together. I think the crux of the topic is when it comes to, like, let's just say dating, should you act differently around girls that you're trying to pick up than like your male?
What? That wasn't the topic question at all. I thought it was whether men or women are equal.
Friends, right? What are those differences? How substantial are they?
Well, I don't think it's just in dating. I mean, when you're asking kind of this fundamental question of should men and women be equal, Destiny asked probably the very first good grounding question, which is what do we mean by equal? So they're kind of making the distinction, or I think they're trying to, that of course men and women from an ontological standpoint are different, right? But that doesn't mean that they should necessarily be treated different in society. Is that what you guys are saying?
I think it's about like access to certain like opportunities and protections, right? Like we're not saying that they can't be treated different, because what does that mean? We mean like at a legal, like governmental level, yeah, both should be given like access of opportunities. They should have like the certain rights. Assault on a woman is the same as assault on a man.
Yeah, but I mean the problem with this argument though is that due to the ontological differences in men and women, when this is applied, we actually see it become very unequal. So men get longer sentences, for instance, than women do for the same types of crimes, especially violent crimes. Same thing with sex crimes. They get much lighter sentences when it comes to that as well. So it might sound good to say that we can apply these things equally to both, but they don't seem to be being applied equally to both. And this might have something to do with the difference in men being men and women being women, that there's more fundamental differences there than just this kind of idea that we can treat everybody equally.
So you believe that the reason that men are getting longer sentences is because of an ontological difference between men and women?
Yeah, I think that men, generally speaking, hand out and dole out lighter sentences to women than women would to women. And yes, there is data to support that, by the way. If you'd like to see it, I can pull that up and send it to you. But I don't even think that that's really
Dude, we're only 43 minutes into this, okay? We're not going to be streaming much longer. Is there anything else? I'm just going to ask chat because I know a lot of you guys watch this stuff, okay? Is there anything else that happened during this debate that I should see? Or have I seen all the real trash and I don't need to see any more? Is there anything else in this debate that I should see, that I should fast forward to? Because this was pretty bad, man. This is probably one of the worst debates I've seen in a very long time, and I'm not eager to watch the rest of it. There's an interesting part where Erudite and Andrew argue about Christian morality. There's a part where Destiny gets naked. Oh, okay. Well, of course I'm gonna watch that part. Of course I gotta watch that part. Think of it 100 bits, IO failure. Well, at one point I think they talk about the clitoris myth. I don't talk about the clitoris. Let's just skip forward. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see what other.
Seem like we're not like we're like fancy.
Do you think like women don't act
because we're liars?
Like, we say like what their gender.
Let's see.
That was Christian values, not so erudite. Tell me how that's
okay. So Christian values. This is the other section you guys wanted me to watch. A Christian value section, yeah.
Dishes for them to come in with dishwashing gloves and ask them about chores.
No, because Nick is a type of guy who, like, in many ways, like, exhibits lots of masculine traits, so lots of heterosexual women. But he's also like super kind and like actually cares about what we're thinking and saying, right? Like when I say like this thing makes me uncomfortable, he fucking listens, right? Most women that I talk to about my relationship with Nick are like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like, I'm so jealous. Yes, absolutely. You just don't have a good conception of my relationship with Nick, which is fine.
No, it's probably not that. It's that she doesn't have a good concept of what a healthy relationship looks like. That's the
That's
issue.
also probably true.
I don't think a healthy relationship looks like your husband doing the dishes. No.
Why
I don't
can't
think that's...
Come on! Really? Yo, was he okay? I'm sorry, but I don't know after learning everything I've learned about the Thorpe family, if she is the best judge on what is and isn't a healthy relationship. And man, in the streaming community, and this is the realest shit, in the streaming community, if a household is washing dishes, period, and isn't just piling up the bags of DoorDash in the corner, that's a W. That's a W. If somebody is doing the dishes, that is a W. Period. Definitely for this industry.
Men do chores. Just because your dad is too lazy to actually help run
It's
the house
obviously
doesn't mean that every
okay. So
single-
Kyla, he fucking listens to you when you tell him what you're uncomfortable with, and that's a
No,
healthy.
in fact,
male
I'm
female
pretty.
relationship.
Why did she say that so often? He talks to you about what you're uncomfortable with? Like she said it like it was like the most absurd, offensive thing she's ever heard in her life.
So I'm
fucking
doing
listens
a bulk
to
of the
me?
work. No, Nick literally said, since you're doing a lot of the working right now and I'm like stalemated with our website generation, I'm going to pick up and doing more of the chores so that you're just freed up to do more school, because I'm doing school at the same time, so that I'm freed up to do school and work at the same time. He's
Right, so you're the man of the
house
house, and he's supporting you. Do you think most women want that from a man?
Honestly, yeah, I think a lot of women would be super happy with a guy who's willing to contribute a lot.
With a guy who's
to chores.
submissive, who does the chores and
You're
listens
not
when you
submissive,
tell
you're
them
just
that you're
implying
uncomfortable.
that into my You're just implying a bunch
You
of.
said
how is doing the dish? I mean, like societally, it is socialized as if it is a submissive thing. But what is submissive about doing the dishes? Like if we go into like a restaurant and we go into the kitchen and we see the dish guy, the dish boy, whatever we call it, the dish machine, whatever you want to call him, right? Doing the dish, and no one says, "What a cuck! What a submissive! Oh my God! What a femoid! What are you a fem? Are you a fem? Are you these femboys I've been hearing about?" Nobody says that. But when it's in the home, all of a sudden it's the feminine thing, and just because that's how it's been socialized. There's nothing particularly feminine about doing the dishes, just like there's nothing particularly feminine about like a color like pink. Actually, in a lot of societies, I think, oh my God, I'd have to go back and look at the history of pink. Somebody would have to remind me, but I believe that pink at one point was considered like the man's or the boy's color. I don't understand how doing the dishes necessarily makes you submissive unless you think doing anything for your partner or doing anything for the collective household that you're in outside of like working in the coal mines is submissive.
He fucking listens to you. You said he fucking
listening to somebody doesn't make you submissive.
No, you said when I tell him you said when I tell him I'm uncomfortable. You said when I tell him I'm uncomfortable with something, he fucking listens. You dominate
because he's healthy and normal.
Also, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry, God, because no, everything you're saying is so stupid. Part of being dominant, part of the most important thing, especially sexually, is listening. How fucking stupid are you that you think that, like, especially even BDSM relationships where there's a sub-dom relationship, listening is the most important thing that you do as a dominant person.
But
what do you envision these are?
Listen, she means follows orders. She dominates him. They're partners, right? He's not the man in charge of her.
You're just assuming that about my relationship. You have no idea about.
But you just said that. You just said he listens to you.
Sorry,
and he does the chores. How is that a dominant man?
So is the advice that men shouldn't listen to women? Woman's like, oh, I think I'm having some stomach cramps and I've been bleeding recently and I'm thinking maybe like I should go to the doctor. Get out of here! I'm playing my Call of Duty, you whore! Then like what? How does she see a healthy relationship with anyone where the two partners don't communicate about what their likes, their dislikes, what makes them comfortable and uncomfortable?
Can you turn up my mic? Apparently, I'm really, really soft, and everyone else.
I can turn you up. Yeah, you're already actually up, mostly all the way, but yeah, you're actually up. 100%.
I'm always really soft on StreamYards. I don't want to go too much into your stuff, but just to be clear, me and Nick have a really healthy, happy marriage and relationship. It's totally fine if it's not the one that you want. I wouldn't put it on anyone necessarily.
Well, why did you open it up?
Wait, hold on. Grace opened it up by attacking our relationship like 15 different times.
No, he's trying to imply that we've opened our relationship. We didn't open our relationship.
Oh. Well, I mean, yeah, you said you did, and then you closed it back up after experimenting with it. Yeah, that's what you said.
No, we said we were opening it up in a way that like super Christian monogamous people would feel that it's open.
Really? In what way was that?
That we're like open to like flirting and like flirting around with people.
That's a Christian principle to flirt with other women?
Yeah, it's totally fine. Flirting is like handshakes. It's not a
and
big deal.
so
Just because you're hang on.
Let's back up. I want to make sure I get this right.
Okay.
So your ground rules.
Let's put my marriage on.
So you're hang on. So
what is? Who gives a fuck? Like I thought, like when they said open up, I thought it was like they were open. It was like flirting. Like I guess some people are uncomfortable with that. Some people are comfortable about that. Why are they going to debate? Well, they're going to debate the Christian ethics of flirting now.
Your ground rules were not that you were able to have like a sexual profile of yourself out there on a website at all. You weren't advertising yourself that way.
Yeah,
that was totally fine. That was Christian values, not so erudite. Tell me how that's a Christian value. I want to hear it.
I don't view God in this like weird Eastern Orthodox repressive way where I just make up my own theology.
What Protestant would agree with this? What Catholic would agree with this? What Christian denomination would agree with this?
Oh, I don't care. You chain smoke and drug and drink all day. What Christian would agree with any of those behaviors?
The Orthodox would be fine with it. The Catholics would be fine with it. The Protestants would be fine with alcohol and smoking. None of them are upset about it.
No, they're not.
Tell me which ones aren't. Tell me which ones aren't.
Protestants, Catholics, and Eastern Orthodox.
No, they're fine. Eastern Orthodox.
Let's send Andrew to Afghanistan. I wanna see him. I wanna see him join the Taliban, and then we can get him off the drink.
Drink and smoke constantly. Catholics drink and smoke constantly. Protestants drink and smoke constantly. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Tell me which one of their values. Now tell me which one of their values for ethics, though.
Drinking isn't a sin.
Support you putting yourself out there on a private site and saying you have an open relationship. You're experimenting with an open relationship.
What's this poll someone just did? Dishes are for Starship Troopers? What is this pole and gutter? Whatever.
Can you give me any form of Christian ethics which would ever support that ever?
Yeah, if you look up in the book of Exodus, there's a whole passage about, opening your relationship. Song of Solomon was super into it as well.
Yeah, send it to
You
me
have a
so that we
totally
can take a
healthy-
look. I want to hear. Hang on. What is this? Tell me where it is.
Exodus and Song of Solomon. Go look for it.
Exodus what?
Just go look for it.
Yeah, go look for it. So you don't have a single argument for how Christian ethics would support you opening up your relationship and claiming you're a Christian.
Okay, Andrew. So you don't actually want to be teamed with Grace unless you can get some sort of weird optical dunk on me or Destiny. Then you're going to hit your wagon right to the 20-year-old. I don't know what all the fucking weird shit.
You're not going to be
now
able to
you're
divert.
hitting your wagon.
No, you're
to her.
You're not
Fucking
going to be able to
now she's
divert.
awesome. Or
You're just
disagree
trying to
with me on
divert.
certain
Answer the
things.
fucking question.
Yeah,
I don't need
yeah,
to answer
stop
any
deflecting.
questions about my marriage or relationship in a debate.
Oh,
But
you've
you were
been talking
just you
about
were
Nick
happy
the whole
doing it 5 seconds
time.
ago. You were happy doing it 5 seconds
Just
ago.
because I
And you
won't
also
answer
said
some
I have
questions
no
doesn't
right to
mean
talk
that
about things because I've never had a relationship. So come on, sister. You
Oh no,
can't
to be fair, okay, wait, hang on, hang
You
on.
were talking about it.
acting like
You were talking about him.
Wait, let me interject. I think each person on the debate panel has the right to talk as much or as little as they want about their personal relationship. You can talk about it as little as you want. You can talk about as much as you want when it comes to personal things. If anyone can draw the line wherever they want.
That's bullshit. If we're talking about relationships and she brings up her relationship as a
Well, look,
as
I
an
just-
example
You
of a
brought up my
healthy
relationship. You
We're allowed
brought up
to
my
talk about as much
relationship.
as we want.
Grace,
If
you
you
brought
say
my
it's an example of
relationship
a
up.
healthy relationship, we're allowed to talk about it.
Well,
as
can you
much
just
as we
answer
want.
this one
You
question?
brought up
I'll
my
let it go.
relationship.
I'll let
no,
it go.
Andrew. No, Andrew. I can't
wanna
answer
answer
any
it?
of your weird questions about my relationship. We don't want to talk
That you
about
were talking
I
about
can
for
assure
20
you.
minutes before I
Very
finally
nice.
asked the
You
question.
psychoanalyze
you
my
asked an
family for like
unrelated
5
question about my
hours on
religion.
stream.
Okay.
We can talk about each other's families. Don't do this. You don't have the right. You
Okay,
you
guys
said
can
your
keep
relationship
loudly
is an
saying the
example
same thing.
of a
It
healthy
doesn't make
relationship.
any
I
of
just
this
want to
narrative
know
true.
how Christian ethics supports this. That's all.
It doesn't. It
I will
literally
say I got a
doesn't.
Bible verse
Okay,
in the chat
thank
that
you.
says, "And do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit."
Where was this?
Ephesians 5, chapter 5.
In Ephesians?
Yeah,
Okay. We'll pull up
chapter 5,
Ephesians.
verse 18.
Yeah, we'll pull up Ephesians. It's talking about drunkenness, though, but I'll pull it up. Ephesians what?
as
chapter
long as you get
5,
your tolerance up
verse
high enough,
18.
chat, it's okay to drug and drink as much as you like. Okay, glad we've got our Christian ethics figured out.
Also, I just wanted to give a little bit more background because Grace was apparently lying about the situation with father and the other person. Apparently, Grace's dad made it seem like what they were doing was just content, but your dad was doing things to that girl off stream after she communicated that she wasn't comfortable with that continue to happen. So that is
You didn't
not
say
being
it
a
was
gentleman. That's not being
that's not
dominant,
clear.
and that's not probably a healthy way to establish boundaries with somebody.
No,
And then apparently your
the
dad said
entire
afterwards,
time he
your
was with
dad
her,
told
he
her
was
to
saying
leave.
this is gonna.
Your dad told her to leave if she didn't
was
like
tired.
it. Also, apparently that girl initially came to see you, not your dad, and your dad forced his way into it.
Nope.
Like I've been
She came to
reported actually with
talk about
tons of
it.
girls
No,
that he's
this-
done with almost every
So
interaction with another
who
girl
are
that
you
showed up
getting
at
this
her
from?
house.
Because it's
I just want to let
Grace,
you
I've had
know
multiple people tell me this. Some
that
friends, some strangers.
Ephesians 5:18 is referencing drunkenness, which leads to
Get ready for
debauchery.
just
Dude, I'm sorry. This is
Bible.
okay.
Let's go, boys. Look,
Okay.
drunkenness is a sin. Addiction is.
I'm done. I don't want to listen to this anymore. This was a train wreck. Every single moment of this was a train wreck. Oh my god, I don't even know if I'm gonna upload this on YouTube. Actually, what a mess. What a mess. Good clip from this debate.
What is the
So I'm gonna
conflict?
tell
The
you
law is based
again,
on a set of
because
ethics.
you have diverted. Shut up, Grace. Because you have diverted
No, you
multiple
guys can't
times.
just keep telling me not to talk.
Well, but let
We
us
are, though.
Please.
Let you and Erudite
You've been
go.
going.
You want to
I
be
let you
dominated.
and
You
Erudite
want
go.
them
Let
to
me
tell you.
You
to
love
shut
it,
up,
Grace.
So
It's turning
anyway.
you on every time he tells you to shut up, you
Yeah,
stupid
so
fucking
anyway.
No,
child.
because you're wrong.
Mute your
You're
shit,
wrong.
you
You're
stupid
lying.
fuck.
You're
You're
lying
so
woman.
stupid, Grace. You're so dumb and submissive.
You don't think laws are based in ethics? You don't think American
Grace,
legal
you
tradition is based
stupid,
in natural law?
you
We
young,
hold these truths
you
to be
idiot,
self-evident.
You
Destiny,
little
you're a
breedable
Catholic.
woman.
You
You're
know-
so stupid and dumb
Do
and
you know
idiot.
what natural law
You're a
is?
dumb
Catholic.
fuck.
Do you know what natural
You're
law is?
you're
Do you know what
stupid.
natural law
I don't have to
is? Do you know what
answer
natural law
you.
is?
You gotta go 5 levels further.
You're
I'm not letting you get away with saying that laws are not based on a set of
You need to
ethics
be
that
in the
comes from
kitchen
natural
cooking
law.
right now.
Ethically
You
violating by
talking was a
starting at
mistake.
stop sign,
It's
Grace.
going to be so
Grace,
bad,
Grace,
Destiny. Everyone's going to
Grace.
weaponize this against
Good.
us.
What ethics are you violating by not stopping at a stop sign?
That's not a. That's
You're not
a
violating
law.
an ethic there. You're violating traffic laws.
Right, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, traffic laws are based on.
Based on ethics.
We're not talking about this. We're not.
Do you
Our
remember
laws against
John when
pedophilia
Jesus was
are
speeding
laws-
on his
our
camel?
laws- Listen.
You don't know what you got till it's gone. Hippy dippy, boys. Hippy dippy. You don't know what you got till it's gone.